There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit,
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street-smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now. Welcome, everybody, to The Psychic and the Doc here on the Transformation Network. I am Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer, and I am joined by my co-host, the illustrious and world-famous Dr. Pat Baccili.
Yahoo!
Woohoo! And we got a great show tonight. The theme of tonight's show is Recycle Your Good Energy. And the reason we chose that particular topic is because today is World Environment Day. And, you know, when we talk about the environment, there's always a push to recycle plastics and metals and things like that. And, you know, we always talk about energy. So why not recycle your good energy? Let's get that vibrational frequency up. Let's recycle some good energy. And speaking of good energy, Dr. Pat, I understand you have a major announcement.
I do, but I want to give a shout out. I mean, there are two people that are the backbone behind this show. Well, there are three. And I want to give a shout out to them. Of course, we all meet together, myself, you, Rocky, and Linda, and we talk about the strategy. So I want people to know that when we do this show, we put you in the forefront because each week you tell us what you want more of. And we consider that, and then we do our best. But behind the scenes, you have Nat, who's one of our producers, and you'll hear him because he'll say, Mary Jo from Arizona is on the live in your net. That's Nat. And I want to tell you that in order for that to work, Nat will take a picture of the keyboards and the buttons. And what do you do to make sure that Mark and I are the only people heard and you're not listening to Nat, listening to Janis Joplin in the background? Of course, Nat doesn't do that. That's not his thing. And then there's Jessica. And Jessica is now answering all the phones. So this time we take in the front is so that we let our producers do what they do so that Mark and I just show up. See, that's it. They're going to tell us who's calling. And by the way, 1-800-930-2819. Now, this is a good vibe thing. And I'm so glad you picked this. You see, in the world that we're living in now, there are opportunities to grow and expand. And the bottom line, when I'm working with all of our new hosts, we go over a lot of things. But the one thing I've noticed, and I've learned this the hard way, and we've talked about it a little bit, is if you have an idea and you put up a digital platform, whether it's social media, you need to put a TM for trademark on it. Now, why am I saying that and why is that important for everybody? I want to just say the first thing of why it's important. What's important about it? This is probably your life stream. This is probably something that came to you. For me, it's a download. So we just achieved Mission Impossible, but we are a company that's called Unlimited Possibilities now. So what happens when we introduce doubt? Mark's going to talk about that. We were asked to defend our trademark for the Transformation Network. Now, in the business world, for all of you out there, when you have a platform, that's not your company name, but it's the Transformation Network, and you're using the word transformation in, which is one of the most searched. The bottom line for all this is you do your best. But thanks to Jamaica Tipton, who is our trademark person, we didn't just try to register it for one thing. We registered it for 72 classifications. because we've done all that in 22 years. We found out yesterday we are now a formally U.S. Trademark Association registered trademark for the Transformation Network. And for many of you may think, well, what's the big deal? Well, when you're getting ready to launch something, if you don't have something to protect your idea, it can go away. And we want to just say, good vibe energy is what we held. We didn't think about how you're an attorney. We didn't think about how ridiculous classifying in 72 categories was. It was just the truth. But the good vibes around this is what helped this move forward. And Mark, we've got to look for the signs. What do you think about recycling good vibe energy? And I want to thank everyone that has supported us along the way for that.
Yeah, well, transformation was Transformation Talk Radio, which it still is, but now we refer to it as the Transformation Network because we're evolving and expanding. And it's always been positive talk radio. I'm a news junkie. I like watching the news. I like knowing what's going on in the world.
You and Linda.
Yeah, but it is a drag. I mean, it is so negative. It's all war and killing and hate, and that's what's going on. And it really is nice to come to TTN, to a refuge, to it's the eye of the hurricane. And this is your refuge, your safe place where we focus on positivity, positive energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred from one form to another. So let's keep recycling positive energy. Look, maybe we can't change the world. I mean, I wish I could stop wars and hunger and illness and all that. But what Dr. Pat and I do, this is our ministry. We do not get paid to do this. People think because you're on a show, you're just like rolling in dough. And no, we do this. This is our ministry. We give our time because we want to be here for you.
Yeah.
And people can talk about, got to make the world a better place. Well, this is partly how Dr. Pat and I try to do that. And that's what the mission of TTN, Transformation Network, is. It's positivity.
Exactly.
And I know that there's going to be other channels that are going to be some political and all this. And
we got a couple of shows showing up here on the network. They're going to be fun. But Mark, what you said is so important. And yet at the same time, we don't shy away from conversations, even in this show. Mark, you brought up such an amazing content, which gets people to think. We all have to start thinking now, right?
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this country, in other countries around the world that's really frightening. I never thought in the 21st century, people are going to have to be afraid just because of who they are, in the United States. And it is because this is a platform where people who are afraid or people who are grieving. And obviously, as a medium and as a psychologist and the nature of this show, we have a lot of people call in who are coping with the loss of a loved one. And, I do my best to connect with their loved ones in spirit. And what makes this show so unique is I bring forth the messages, and then Dr. Pat helps people understand what they mean. And because she's a behavioral psychologist, she's able to draw upon a vast expanse of knowledge, like from Jungian psychology, Freudian psychology, behavioral psychology, plus her own amazing life experiences. And we get a lot of people, the reactions are, I never thought of that, or, so that's what's going on with me, and this is important. This is really, really important. And like Dr. Pat said, this is a call-in show, 1-800-930-2819, and we're here for you.
Yeah, let's take a short break because we are kicking it up here big time. Recycling that good, positive energy. All of us have that ability. And when you hear a show like this, Mark and I have had our fair share of not so good things pop up in life.
Yeah.
But it's how you go through them. Everybody looks at the end game, but the end game, you'll get there. It's how you go through these events in life that makes the difference on how absolutely fulfilled and joyful you'll be. Let's take a short break, Nat. When we come back, we're going to go right to the phone. Sarah will be right with you. Okay, so what is the moral of the Transformation Network story? What happened to me when we had to pull those, they call them specimens. What an interesting name. I had to go back 22 years, and I didn't know if I would have the exhibits they wanted.
Yeah, it's difficult dealing with patent and trademark and copyright, because I had to do that for Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, and Mark Anthony, the psychic explorer.
Wow. Okay.
And part of the problem is the person that makes the decision. See, they have certain criteria, but then there's an element of subjectivity, because the person at the patent, trademark, or copyright office, if they decide they don't like you or your brand, they can say no. Which should not be the case. Okay, this is where AI should probably do it, but you still want a bit of human element, and it is not easy. But there's reasons for that too, because when you have a patent or a copyright or a trademark, it does need to be protected so that other people don't exploit it.
Yeah, and here's the punchline. I couldn't believe what we have done in 22 years. I mean, I went through, Linda saves everything. But the message here for us wasn't about that. It was the universe, the God of my understanding, the goddess, whoever you believe in, was saying, this is a sign for you to go full force forward. And we'll hear more about that. Nat, who do we have first?
All right, our first caller today is going to be Sarah from Wisconsin. Thank you for calling back from last week, Sarah. You are on with Mark and Pat right now on The Psychic in the Dark. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah, great to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. My air conditioning just kicked on, which means it's hot in the Pacific Northwest. How can we help you today?
I'm in Florida. It's always running. Yeah.
There you
how
go.
can we help you,
yeah,
Sarah?
That's good to hear. I guess I would like to be connected with someone, and not anyone specifically. I have 3 grandparents who have passed, so I'm not sure who may show up, but I'm curious.
Okay, let me see. Now, this is really fascinating because I've got an older gentleman coming through, and looks to me like he had the male pattern baldness prior to passing, because I'm still getting some hair around like his ears and back of his head. But he definitely, as some men get older, the forehead increases in size because their hair, they lose their hair. And the funny thing about this, Sarah, he's holding an Easter basket. I'm seeing an Easter basket, and it's filled with all these colorful Easter eggs and peeps, those marshmallow little, things, chicks and things.
Little chicks. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Easter's a big deal for a lot of kids, but this could also indicate the Aries time frame, which Easter always falls within Aries, which is roughly between March 20th and April 20th, give or take a couple days either side. So there could be births, deaths, anniversaries, or events which could be connected to him or to you, Sarah, or to someone else very close to you. Does any of this make sense to you?
Well, I'm a Pisces, and I know, one of the two of the grandparents had March birthdays, and I'm just struggling right now to recall the date. I'll have to look that up.
Was one of those grandparents a grandfather?
Yes.
Well, I think we got the grandfather then. So we got a grandfather guy. Do you know if he was losing his hair or had the male pattern baldness prior to his passing?
Yeah, somewhat. Yes.
Okay, that would be him then. It's interesting. He's coming right out of the box, being all very positive and Eastery. And let's see what he wants you to know. Ow. Okay, when I'm saying ow, my teeth are hurting. And the weird thing about this, okay, go ahead. You said, oh.
Oh, no, I was just surprised, surprised that your teeth were hurting.
No, okay. When I say my teeth are hurting, what that means is the spirit is transmitting information to me, and I pick it up visually, auditorily. I smell it, feel it, taste it. So the pressure with my teeth hurting, what that indicates is he may have been having a lot of problems with his teeth. That could indicate, bad history with his teeth. Could have meant that could mean that he had false teeth, but he could be focusing on you. And he's talking about you and teeth. And the reason that my teeth feel like they're hurting, and this is going way, way, way back in time for me, is when I had braces. And when you go every month and they tighten the braces and torque it down, that's what it feels like. So this indicates he's talking about somebody getting orthodontal work. That could be him, or that could be you, or someone connected to you. Either in the past, or something going on with orthodontal work. Does any of this make sense to you in any way, Sarah?
Well, one grandfather, not actually the one that I was thinking this was, but he did have false teeth. The other grandfather, as far as I know, did not have any significant dental problems. And my only really significant dental issues has been my wisdom teeth I had removed. That was a long time ago.
Why did they have to remove your wisdom teeth?
I think just crowding. There wasn't enough space.
My question is, sometimes they the dentist, they pull your wisdom teeth before they put your braces on. But there's something about
it didn't have braces.
All right, hold on. Oh, you didn't have braces. So have you ever had braces?
No.
All right.
No.
Now we're getting somewhere. Hold on. Try not to interrupt me when I'm working with a spirit. And the reason for that, Sarah, is it can cause me to lose the connection. Kindly wait until I ask, does that make sense? All right. So what grandfather, and I think we got both of them here, they're telling you something's going on with your teeth. It could be the bones, your jaws, that you need to have addressed. Okay. And before you say no, make the appointment, get this checked, okay? And they're also showing you in a garden, all these gardens. I'm seeing lilies. Interesting. There's another Aries time frame, because lilies are associated with that. But they're also showing me tulips and a lot of flowers. Are you a bit of a gardener? I mean, everybody likes flowers, but they're talking about you with all these flowers.
Yeah.
My mom is. She has a beautiful garden. Lots of flowers.
Perfect. Okay, so she could be. They're referencing that, and interesting. They just saw you, or showing me you writing a check. Then you picked up the check and tore it up. So there must be something you were about to spend money on that was rather pricey, but then you decided not to. Does that make any sense? Or it could be coming up.
Not something specific. I'll have to think about that a little bit.
Okay, I'll leave that with you. Dr. Pat, I think that one has metaphorical significance.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that, because when Mark sees things like that, there's just this beautiful collage of information that just came through to you. And a lot of times when we think, oh, does anybody have dental work? Oh, no. But it's not that clear. It could not, maybe it's not the people that passed. Maybe it's something you're ready to do. But it usually is connected to other things. So the idea of writing a check and then tearing it up, I want to talk about that from an energy perspective. Most of the time, what that means is I want something, I desire something, there's something that could either be you, a family member, and the tearing up of the check is someone, maybe you, maybe your mom, saying, we can't afford it. You get it? You get what I'm saying? Right. So it doesn't have to be the physical, like maybe you want to go on vacation somewhere, or you have a thought to do something like that, or maybe you have a thought to buy a car. But there's something that you obviously desire that you're not able to treat yourself to, or you think you can't. That's what I want you to focus on. Is anything come up like that for you?
Probably travel would be the biggest one.
Yeah. So what is hot on your travel agenda right now?
I'd like to go to London.
And tell me what's stopping you.
Financial considerations, just
Okay.
wanting to keep on track. Yeah.
Okay. What does it mean keep on track? Like keep on track in your budget or work or?
Right. Yes. Stay within my means and within my budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels like a splurge right now.
Okay. So see, this is the deal. And so I love that Mark brought this up because we don't want to tear up the page. We don't want to tear up the check, but here's what I want you to do. You write a check and you write it to yourself. How much is the trip going to cost you? Give me a ballpark. Is your mom going with you or what's going on? Who's going on
I
the
hadn't
trip?
gotten to that point of
Okay.
just me. I hadn't gotten to the point of pricing it yet, but
Okay.
So,
So
yeah,
do you
at
want to
least
go
a few
by
$1,000
yourself?
would be.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to go by yourself
Yeah.
though. Mom's not going. Okay. So there's no
Right.
other family member. So it's like you're doing it. You're doing it. Okay.
yes.
So let's say it's $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 3,000 to have fun, 1,000 to spend money just for fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about that right now?
Yeah, that would be great. I have friends in the UK, so it would be nice to see them.
Great. Oh, now we got some positive energy. I literally want you to write yourself a check for $4,000 and walk around with it in your wallet.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're laughing, right? Like Mark, it's like, oh, they've lost their minds now. But no, I really want you to do it. Go ahead.
At this
You
point,
know
I'm
what-
not even sure that I have a checkbook because everything is digital. So
Oh,
Well,
good. Do you have a computer?
sure.
Do you have a computer? Okay. I want you to write out a letter of agreement to yourself that this letter of agreement authorizes you, Sarah, to be the owner and purchaser of a $4,000 check that you will get in traveler's checks. Got it? Just type yourself a letter, sign
yeah.
it, put that in your wallet.
All right, will do.
Mark.
Yeah, before Jim Carrey became famous,
Yeah.
when his
boy.
father died, he wrote a check for $20 million and put it in the coffin with his father. And he said, Dad, someday I'm going to be famous. Someday I'm going to make this kind of money. And a couple years later, after he did The Mask, his fee for movies became $20 million. So talk about
Wow.
visualizing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. You good?
Absolutely.
That's what we want you to do. We don't
Okay,
want to
letter-
start thinking about it anymore. We want you to set a positive intention, which has energy, write it up and in your wallet. Okie doke?
Okay, letter of agreement for 4,000.
Yeah. Or you could say 4,000 or more. I always say 4,000 or greater.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's leave
All right.
the greater in. Definitely.
Yeah, put the greater in.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sarah.
so
Thank
much.
you so
All right.
much. I'm going to do that myself. I just reminded myself to do that about something. Nat, who's next?
All right, our next caller is going to be Linda from Florida. Linda, welcome to the Psychic in the Dock. You are on with Mark and Pat right now.
Hey, Linda.
Hello.
How you
don't
doing?
know if Pat explained anything. I was listening to Mark Anthony with the other lady with the teeth,
Yeah.
and I was just listening to your show. I wasn't going to call in. I was just listening on the computer. Tuesday, I went to the doctor's, and I'm not trying to be funny. I got on the scale, and I thought I lost weight, and I made a comment, oh, the scale's rigged. And as I was getting off the scale, and I used a cane, I fell. But it was a pretty bad fall.
Wow.
And I had braces in the past, but then they put permanent retainers in my front teeth and my bottom teeth to keep them straight. And the fall was the retainer, the wire actually went through and protruded to the front. I cut my lip. I cut the
Oh
bridge
my
on my nose.
goodness. Oh,
It was a
Oh.
pretty bad fall.
oh.
And I had a call, and I thought, I wonder if Mark's picking up on me, because my sister worked for a dentist probably about 30 years, and I called her right away. And she said, start biting down on gauze, that the tooth may take a root, you know, because I said, I think I'm going to lose my 2 front teeth. And she goes, oh, you're talking $20,000, you know.
Oh.
And Mark was talking about the money and everything. So I'm wondering if it was me. But then I wanted to ask Mark, it was funny, when I fell,
Who'd
I
you
thought
think
of
of?
my ex-husband.
Okay. Is he planet Earth or in spirit?
He is in spirit, but Mark, I always thought he was good, and I prayed to God for forgiveness for divorcing him. But now I'm realizing through therapy how naive I was, and I'm realizing he wasn't the good man I thought he was. I was just plain naive.
Well, it may be him who's coming through. Now, please understand, he did not make you fall. Okay. You were going to fall.
Right. Yeah.
And what he's doing is he's coming through to tell you how to get this taken care of. Now, even though like $20,000 would be the dental bill, do you have health insurance, medical insurance?
Yeah.
I just need a simple yes or no, not the New Testament.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
I'm sorry, but there's a reason I'm saying this, because what he's telling me is you need to talk to your doctor and have the doctor, not the dentist, say that you have to have this done because it is a medical condition.
Yeah.
And your insurance, your health insurance may pick it up. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's what they're telling me. And also, who was in the Navy? Who was in the Navy? Was it ex-husband, or if you have a father, or it could be a grandfather, but there's a guy in a naval uniform coming to me?
2 people I know. Someone I loved, and a very good friend was a Navy SEAL. He was like a brother to me.
And they're in spirit?
Yes, both of them.
Okay. Hold on. Was the guy you really loved a lot, was that the Navy SEAL?
No, that was our best friend.
Okay.
My brother's best friend, but he was like my brother. He was at our house every day for years.
Okay. All right. Hold on. The guy you really loved, was that the Navy guy?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's the one who's coming through. And it's interesting. So we got ex-husband. Now we got the gentleman that was in the Navy. What else are they telling me? Hold on. Yeah, with the weight issue, and obviously you have to follow the advice of your doctor. They're telling you that a medical treatment can take care of that. Okay. Now, neither Dr. Pat nor I are medical doctors. We can't give medical advice, but that's what your spirit is directing you to your doctor. They're also telling me that your sodium intake is way too high. And sodium, the problem with sodium, salt tastes good. Okay, we eat a lot of salty foods, but salt it can be as dangerous as sugar. It does put on weight because it causes fluid retention, and it also causes hypertension. It causes blood pressure to go up, and it can cause issues with eyesight. So they're telling you, let's start being more discerning with what you're eating, and turn to your doctor and ask for a medical solution to weight gain. Okay, that's the advice.
Okay. Wow, you're right on. And just so I know, I don't have very much time. I wanted to do it on my own. I'm not looking for a lawsuit or anything. I love all my doctors, but I felt bad. No one called me to see how I was doing.
Oh, I got to jump in. Hello, wait a minute. All right, wait a minute. So do you think you're a bad person if you sue them?
Again, how can I sue someone that's trying to help me, my doctor?
I'll tell you how. Okay. All right. Okay. We have to separate the issues here, because I just moved out of office space, and they had a giant piece of I don't know what that was, Nat, that was in the hallway outside the production room. And Linda and I tend to come in early. Even if we don't stay all day, we come in super early. We have to get some things done and then we leave. So it's sometimes dark. So this thing is in the hall. And so, I dress pretty good. Today I'm a little down dressed, but sometimes I wear like flowy things. You know what I'm saying? I got caught on that piece of wood and I fell to my knees. Now, anybody else pick them up, but I have 2 titanium knees. And when you go down with titanium balls in your knee and then your kneecap hits your flesh, I thought I was going to have to call the ambulance people down on the first floor. Now let's separate the issue. This was purely neglect. I have to separate. I fell. I cracked my teeth. Now I want to ask you a question. What did you fall over?
There was a step from the scale, but there was no bar to grab onto. And
Hello.
I just fell.
Ooh.
So you have 2 options. This doesn't take away from, wasn't there anybody there helping you?
They were there, but I felt like, you know how you just have that intuition? I felt like right away it thought lawsuit, and I wasn't thinking that.
No, it's not a lawsuit. Forget the word lawsuit. Come on, I'm trying to help you here a minute.
Because they went in another room
Yeah,
and started talking.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
My nose.
This is a serious fall. Oh, look at look at my voice go up. That's how so here's what I want to say to you. You need to take somebody with you, a friend that can talk up for you. And you need to walk in and say, look, I don't want this to turn into anything legal, but it's going to take $20,000 for me to get this fix from falling off your scale. And wasn't there anybody there to catch you or help you out? What's the deal here? You fell and you hit your face. Wasn't there anybody that saw this?
She stepped aside, and I was just laying on the floor, and my knees hit the floor,
God.
Linda, and then my mouth, and then my head, and I thought I broke my nose because I was bleeding from my nose and my mouth.
Okay. So let's take a word of the lawsuit. And I'm going to leave you with this. This whole message and everything you brought forward here today with this, Mark, this is for her. This dental thing is for her because you know what? The universe needed to get her on air here, right? You feeling me? Here's the thing. Most of us don't want to get into conflict with our doctors, our office people. But I'm telling you, I was at my, what is that called? Something end. With my landlord in our office space. I had tried everything in 4 years. And you get to the point where it gets so bad that you got your people bringing in electric blankets. You got to do something. You don't have to sue. However, you want to bring somebody with you to say, look, this event happened and it happened on this day. It is going to cost me a lot of money to get this fixed. And we think you all should pay for it. Right, Mark? You're an attorney.
Yeah, I agree. You need to go in there, like you said with Dr. Pat, and be diplomatic and say, we could avoid a lot if you would write a medical report that I need to get my teeth fixed for medical reasons so I can go to my health insurance. Okay.
And if that doesn't work, if I would like to try that, but if it doesn't work, would you be willing to pay to have this fixed for me?
I think my thing is I have to get the courage. I think the test here is courage.
What? All right, here, I'll give you the courage. Go hire a lawyer. Okay.
Thank you.
That's what lawyers are for because
love my lawyer.
Consult the lawyer, and that doesn't mean the lawyer has to bring a lawsuit. No. But the lawyer can write a diplomatic letter saying, if you would do this, or we're going to do that. And so we will leave you with that because we want to get to our other callers, but that's what you need to do is consult a personal injury attorney and say, look, I want you to write this letter for me. And you'll know when you have the right lawyer. So we're going to let you go.
Mark and I want you to borrow our courage. You don't have to borrow my skydiving courage. You can pass on that, but I'm just saying, just borrow my courage, right? Right, just take a piece.
I will borrow your courage.
And I am
Thank
going
you
to
so
lend
much.
it to you unconditionally forever. All right. Thank you so much for calling in. Wow. Let's go, Nat. Who's next? That is hard to do if you're not comfortable doing it. You have to learn how to do it. And, I sounded like her until I wasn't anymore.
Yeah, I never had a problem doing it because I had to do it for people. And the thing is, you have to stand up for yourself because if you
I
don't,
do.
nobody else will.
I'm just telling you, this is so bizarre. I'm not going to mention names, but I will be shortly. This whole thing with the office space, when they sent me their letter, they said, you either do this or this. They didn't say this and this. They said this or this. And
Right.
so we chose one of the options. Then they came back to us and said, well, you still have to do the other thing. I said, you do not send me a certified letter and say, do this or this. And now tell me it wasn't that. I said, you can talk to Scott, my great lawyer. Let's go, Nat. Who's next?
All right, our next caller is going to be Carrie from Hawaii. Carrie, you are on with the Psychic in the Dock right now. Welcome to the show, Carrie.
Carrie, aloha.
Aloha, Carrie.
Hello.
Hey. How can we help you, Carrie? Let me just check your audio first. Are you on a cell phone?
Yeah.
Or do you have it close to your gorgeous lips?
Yes. Can you hear me
Now
now?
I can hear you.
Now we can hear you.
Hey.
Okay.
Great to meet you. What island you on?
Oahu.
Have you been to Cabello Bay? I'll save that for later. How can we help you tonight?
I just wanted like a mediumship reading.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. Now, I want to just tell you, Mark is going to do this. He's amazing, of course. He's been television everywhere. I don't know why they haven't done a movie on Mark, just saying. But what he's going to do is going to do it. And all we ask is you wait until he says something like, does that make sense to your, does that sound okay? Okay. Are you with me on this?
Yep.
And
I
then
can do that.
when because you heard other people. So let's get you over to Mark.
Carrie, I have a female energy coming through who's connected to you through your female, meaning your mom's side of the family. Now, when I say that, that doesn't always mean a mother. It could be an aunt, it could be a grandmother, or it could be a close female connection. And what I'm getting with this woman is I'm feeling that prior to passing, her lungs were filling up with fluid. This could be a pneumonia, this could be congestive heart failure, or this could be COPD, because what it is, different causes of death have a similar physical sensation, but boy, I'm getting the lungs are getting targeted. I'm getting fluid buildup, and I'm also getting her passing was not a quick event. I'm getting that prior to passing. I'm hearing the death rattle. Pardon me for saying, but that is like that, like in her lungs. So the people around her, and including her, she knew that she was passing. She was age range. I'm trying to get a fix on her age range. Seems like she could have been on the older end of middle-aged, so she could have been easily like maybe even in her 70s. She could have been in her 70s. And like I said, she knew that she was going, and she was still sharp as a tack right up to the end. Okay, I want to hold position here. Does any of this make sense to you?
It's muddled only because some of it sounds like my father's passing. But
this is a female. This is a female. Yeah, this is a female.
The only other one would be my mother-in-law, but she was in her early 90s.
Okay. Hold on. Your mother-in-law, and is there some significance with you and the month of November? Now, hold on. November may not be with her. It could relate to you or someone else close to you, because as soon as you started talking about them, they showed me a calendar and I saw November. So what that can mean is a significant birth, death, anniversary, or event, which is connected to you or somebody close to you, either planet Earth or in spirit, in November.
No, I don't. I have no recall for November. Anything.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, that's fine. Also, be careful about shooting everything down. How about not at this time? Because when you know things, it creates an energetic block and they back off. Question: do you have anything planned coming up this November, or was there something major that went down with you last November?
My son visited me last November.
Bingo. Ding, 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 ding. That's a significant event. Now, is your son from Hawaii? I mean, living in Hawaii, or is he stateside?
He's in California.
That's stateside. See, that's a major event. So this
Yeah,
means
boy.
your spirits are around you. They're aware of what's happening in your life, and they know that your son came to visit you. Okay. They're also talking about you. It's funny, tonight must be teeth night. They're talking about you and in eating soft foods. It's funny because I've been to Hawaii a couple times and I like poi. A lot of people are like, this is poi, but it
I
tastes
like it too.
yeah, I like it too. It's kind of like tapioca, but better for you. And I'm getting this whole poi thing. What is going on with you and either a tapioca or a poi?
Yeah.
Don't know.
All right. Have you eaten poi in the last week?
No, I don't eat poi.
Aha,
Exactly.
she doesn't eat poi. Just like,
Yeah.
see, when I do private readings, I spend 15 minutes ahead of time and I go through all the things that can happen because dislikes are just as important as likes. And the issue here is poi, you don't like it. I'm getting the poi. I like it, but my interpretation doesn't matter. It's yours. Now, let's see what the message is for you. Hold on. They're concerned that there's too much time in between when you see your son. That you may talk to him on the phone or send emails, but they think it's important that you spend more physical time with your son. So I'm kind of getting a trip to California coming up in the future, in the not too distant future. And the funny thing is, it looks like it could be in this next coming November. All right. So I'm going to leave that with you.
I got a question for you. You called in for a reason. I want to know what was in your gut. What was it that said, call into that show? I need some help or information. What was that thing, if you don't mind?
Oh, yeah, no. It's just that my son lives in California, and I think he and I talked about, he wants to come home, maybe, but there are reasons not to. And he is in a serious relationship now. And why
does he want to come home? I'm going to be I'm going to be quick because I know I got somebody else waiting. Why does he want to come home?
He's doing really well. He has a serious relationship, but his girlfriend, I don't know if she would come here. She's not from Hawaii.
I got it.
And they have good jobs. So I think that's part of it. I think he wants to come home. If he does have a family, then I'd be more than happy to babysit, and life would be easier for them.
Got it.
So I just wondered what, in a mediumship reading, what are they feeling or whatever?
Well, I think they said it. You need to spend more time with your son.
They said it. They said it.
Well, so I was just there a few weeks ago.
Oh no! Wait. Yeah, no, you're going in the wrong direction. Just because you need to spend more time with your son doesn't mean you have to go there. Imagine a world where they were there with you. I think in your heart, you really want them there with you.
I mean, I have a reason for it. I have a son with special needs that I take care of, and I can't really leave. I'd like to take him with me, but his dad is really hard. I had a very hard divorce, and so he's going to block me from leaving.
Gotcha.
So I am kind of a little bit stuck.
Okay, I'm gonna help you right now, and then we're gonna go. Yeah, let me help you right now because you're in one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been at. I almost moved there myself. And I want to tell you there's an energy there. And here's what I want to tell you. Madam Pelly, I have a giant poster outside my hall because I manifested more in the months that I stayed in Hawaii. And here's why. And this is what I want you to do. This is not a fluke. This is an energy that's opening up a door for you to be with your family. Hold the space that they are going to come. Don't do anything else. Don't try to make it happen, but you need to get to the place where you don't think about being restricted. Like, I can't go. but you are like on like sacred ground there. You feel me? So all you need to do now, if I were there, I'd be visiting Madame Pelly, giving her the whiskey, the cigarettes, the whole deal. You know what I'm talking about. I want you to embrace this place you're with. It is a world of possibilities. Okay. Hold the space for that to happen, but there's nothing for you to do yet. Okay.
Okay. That's good.
Gosh, I know this is done. I can feel it. Thank you for calling in. I want you to call back, though, and I want you to keep us informed, okay? We're here to support you.
All righty.
We're going to hold the space for you so that this turns out for the highest for everyone. Thank you. Oh, I can feel that. I can feel that. Nat, we got time for one more.
Yes,
I gotta get me on a plane. I got to go to Hawaii. Go ahead, Nat. I'm sorry. I apologize.
All good. Yes, we do. We have time for one more. We're going from warm to cold. We have Daryl from Ontario, Canada. He's going to be next. Daryl, welcome to the Psychic in the Doc. You are on with Mark and Dr. Pat right now.
Daryl, how are you? Come on. I know you called for a reason.
I'm fine, thank you.
You got your electric blanket out?
I'm here with my wife. No, it's a very pleasant evening here.
Awesome.
Nice and balmy, enjoying the nice spring air. So I'm here with my wife, and reason I'm calling a couplefold. I felt compelled to call. This is my first time checking the show, but Mark had done readings for a group called Helping Fathers Heal 2.5 weeks ago, and I thought it was just fantastic what he did for the men that were part of that group. And one time he mentioned a number of things that sort of clicked with our 20-year-old daughter who had passed 3.5 years ago. And he mentioned selling a blue boy, but nobody had took that. But immediately after we were done listening to Mark doing his readings there, we were sitting down to watch the show Little Boy Blue. And it's like, that's kind of a connection. I just realized that a couple days ago. And then as soon as I started listening, the first caller, Mark mentioned about orthodontist. Well, I'm an orthodontist, and he's saying about teeth, and my wife's a dentist as well. So it definitely is tooth night tonight.
It is tooth night. And you know, I don't want to interrupt, but spirits with a commonality coming together. And I remember very, very well the Helping Fathers Heal session. And as you can see, spirits with a commonality. So this is synchronicity. This is not a coincidence that the spirits keep bringing up issues with teeth, and you're an orthodontist and your wife is a dentist. Okay. And so I do have a female energy coming through, and she's showing me, getting maple leaves. And yes, I know that you're in Canada, but when I see maple leaves, this triggers for me the Libra time frame. Libra runs roughly between September 20th to October 20th. So what this could mean is that there are births, deaths, anniversaries, or events which could be connected to you, your wife, possibly your daughter, or someone close to you and your wife, either planet Earth or in spirit within Libra. Is there anything there? Oh, and the interesting thing about Libra, it's the scales of justice. So there could be an issue with a lawsuit or some legal issue going on with you. Doesn't always have to be connected to your daughter's passing, but it could be a lawsuit or the Libra timeframe, roughly September 20 to October 20, like I said, give or take a day or so, births, deaths, anniversaries, or events. Is there anything there?
The dates I'd have to look at, but there's a couple of very strong connections. Our youngest 14-year-old son, he seems to be fascinated with wanting to be a lawyer. Very strong connection there. And,
so big sister is around. Okay.
Yeah.
Go. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Well, there's also a lawsuit with the matter and how she passed in hospital.
Okay, so there we go. So you see, that's what I term a multiple meaning message, where one message has more levels, more than one level of significance. I don't like to get into forecasting lawsuits, but I'm feeling that this is the lawsuit will go in your favor. With her passing, I'm feeling this massive pressure build up in her head. This could be blood flow, high pressure. Let me finish before you respond. high blood pressure, massive blood flow into her head, but I'm also getting this constriction in my throat, like like she was having a real hard time breathing. And now I'm getting this major sensation in the lungs, like no matter what, no matter how much she was trying or the medical team was trying, they couldn't get oxygen into her lungs to get into her bloodstream. Does any of this, now you can respond.
Well, yes, definitely major pressure buildup in her head. She had went through open heart surgery and had massive brain swelling, massive pressure in her head there, and that's what led to her passing.
Okay.
So sorry.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Even though the hospital and the doctors are putting up resistance, I get the sense that this is going to change at some point. But her message is very clear. She said, Dad, Mom, you never were quitters. You never gave up. Stay focused. Keep pushing forward. And it's kind of like a military. I'm hearing charge like that. So don't back down. Know that Tom Petty song? 'Cause I won't back down. And I'm not singing it very well, but I'm getting that too. So the thing here is, stay on course with this lawsuit. Don't back down. Stick to your guns. And it appears that it will be the opposition that is going to fold, or they want to negotiate or cut some type of deal. Okay, now obviously this is impressions received from a spirit. You always follow the advice of your attorneys because they're there on the ground on the front lines. But it seems like things are going to go in your direction. That is the impression that I get.
Yeah. I only have one thing to say to you both. And I know we're running out of time. You know what's in your heart, right? Both of you. I understand your wife is there listening. Okay. You know what's in your heart. You know, no matter what you do or what you say, you know that you're on a pathway that you can't really turn away from, right? Do you both agree to that?
Yes.
Okay. Some days it's hard. Some days it's not. But none of that changes the pathway. I don't know if you heard me talk about the trademark with the Transformation Network. But there are some days, and there's no comparison to your loss. But there are some days, things in life, you just wish it would be over or walk away. But from this point on, you're going to both build up strength. You're going to get the guidance you need, and you're going to get things to your satisfaction. That's what Mark is saying.
Yeah. And Mark was so right in saying charge. That's the personality of Rachel and how she'd express things. She'd tell us to charge.
Oh, that's so interesting because the last root canal I had, that's what my dentist did. Charge. I have great dentists. I'm not mocking them. They're hysterical.
And please accept our deepest sympathy on the passing of Rachel. And it was an honor to connect with her and bring forth messages. And it's an honor to work with Dr. Pat for people just like you, sir, and your wife.
Please call in again. We want to help you and support you. But again, just borrow our faith if you need to. Please do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't offend you with the charge thing that my dentist does, but we have a great relationship.
Well, they're Canadians. They have better insurance there than in the United States. So I think you're off the hook, Dr. Pat.
I go to Dr. Christopherly, and she is amazing. I'm telling you, as a matter of fact, now that I've heard this, I've been putting off going back to her. Hello, Mark, parting words, special message.
I'm going to thank everybody for calling in. I would like to invite everyone to please visit my website, afterlifefrequency.com. This weekend is a free online event, Spiritual Awakenings International. If you go to my site, you can see how to tune in. I'll be presenting on Sunday. Got a lot of events coming up, but you can find out about all that by signing up for my newsletter at afterlifefrequency.com. And the Psychic and the Doc will be back next Thursday.
Thank you, Jessica, for picking up those phones. Thank you, Nat, as usual, for hitting all the right buttons. And for those of you out there, thank you so much for calling in, because even though you may not think you're making a difference, the 10,000 or more other people listening, you are inspiring them to be strong, to be kind, and to keep their hearts open. So thank you all so much for that. We'll see you next time.
Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.